Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say again what a pleasure it is to be here today with you. And on behalf of OTP Group, I would like to say a very warm thank you to all the organizers who are hosting us. Now, OTP Group is a regional bank. We have colleagues here today from all over the Western Balkans, from Montenegro, obviously, from Albania, from Serbia, from Croatia. And if we extend the Western Balkans definition a little bit, we also have colleagues here from Hungary. So I will talk to you today about sustainable finance, how banks perceive sustainability, what we can do together to change the economy. So we all know that the planet is warming. Climate change is a fact. But it's not just about the planet getting warmer, it's also about the weather getting more volatile, more unforeseen events, loss of biodiversity. Climate change has a profound effect on all of us. It has a profound effect on the economy. There's a lot that we need to do. We all know this, we've heard it in the panels. And there's a lot that we will need to do that we don't even know about. What I want to tell you today is what are the things that we do know about, how can we actually affect change. What are the objectives that we set ourselves? And I like to use the EU taxonomy as a help for this, even though it's probably a quite difficult document to negotiate, but it sets out very clear objectives on what needs to happen for us to fight climate change, to survive and prosper on this globe. And number one is obviously mitigation of climate change, doing against the warming of the earth. But that's not all of it. I'd like to draw your attention to all the other objectives that will require changes to the economy. Most importantly, number two, the adaptation to climate change. The climate is changing, it is getting warmer, the weather is getting more volatile. We do need to adapt to this change. We do need to care for our water resources. In a beautiful place like this in Porto, Montenegro, you know, there is no better place to talk about water resources, but biodiversity, pollution prevention, and circular economy are also very important topics to address, and from a banking perspective to finance. Now, we do have long-term goals. The EU set a net zero target for 2050. Some other regions across the globe have maybe set 2060. Some countries want to get earlier. The exact date is not so important. It's more about where do we want to go? What does net zero mean? How do we get there? And my point today is there's a lot of unknowns in this area. There's a lot of things that we do not know. As you can see on the right-hand side of this chart, a lot of the changes that need to happen are still in the transition, this blurry part of maybe it will be good, maybe not. So sometimes the topic gets so complex that we find it problematic to determine what projects that we are financing are green and what are not. And the complexities of the changing economy are stifling. A lot of the times I talk to clients, I talk to my colleagues, we talk about climate change, we talk about environmental sustainability, and a lot of the times I hear it is so complex, there's so much we don't know. How can we do anything? Well, my message to you today is that even though there's a lot we don't know, there is a lot we do know. And I would like to draw your attention especially to three industries: energy, transportation, real estate, buildings. These three industries are among those where we do know what we need to do. We do know what we need to finance. There are projects available, although I strongly agree with my colleague from EBRD who said there's much more money out there than projects. But in these three industries, we do know what needs to happen. We can finance this. And the good news is that most of the money that will need to be spent in Europe at large, but also in this region, will need to be spent in energy, in transportation, and on buildings. 80%, according to this estimation, in the EU will need to be spent in these three industries, and 60% of the impact that we want to achieve to reduce greenhouse gases will stem from spending that money in these industries. Now OTP is here to finance this transition. This is our mission. This is the mission of every financial institution, but also ours. Our approach is local. And that local approach, if you read our strategy, it says that OTP wants to finance a fair and gradual transition. Now, gradual relates to long term, but the fair element is important, because for this means for us that we want to have a local approach. We want to have something that works locally. There is no one size fits all. What works in Romania does not necessarily work in Montenegro. What makes sense here, given the local situation, does not necessarily work someplace else. The important thing is that we reach the goals, and for this we need to build partnerships. And my colleague Tamás will tell you what this means in practice here in Montenegro. Let me just close with three very short dives into these three industries, because it's not enough to say we want to invest in energy, we want to invest in transportation, we want to invest in buildings. It's also important to look at what we actually do. The energy, it's fundamentally about how we produce energy, how we can do that in a sustainable way. And please don't forget, the energy systems around us are, for lack of a better word, very, very big. It's not just about producing energy, it's also about transporting, it's about storage, it's about network connectivity. There's a lot of investment that will be required, and as you can see, a lot of change needs to happen over a lot of time. The good news is, it's not only about big power plants. It's also about small investments, rooftop PV panels, wind parks, and so on, and so on. So this is about what we do to produce energy. How do we consume energy? The two other industries. First of all, transportation. Again, we talk about clean transportation. Everyone is thinking about Tesla and electric personal vehicles, which is great. But don't forget there is public transportation, municipal transport, electrification of transportation systems, short and long haul goods transportation. All these systems will need to change. All this investment will require financing. And for this, OTP can be your partner. Last but not least, buildings. Buildings are the single biggest consumer of energy in our region and in the world in general. All of what we do here is basically we consume energy in buildings. Now, as you can see on the chart, the building stock is massive, it's very old, it changes very slowly. However, it's practical to change it. We can do insulation, we can do the changing of building infrastructure. There is money available, and even though ESG is a new topic to banks, financing mortgages is a very old topic to banks. So we are quite comfortable in this. Let me close with one thought, just to hammer this point home. There's a lot we don't know, but there is a lot we do know, and we want to finance the transition, especially in these three key areas, together with you. That's why OTP is your partner in this. What this means in practice in Montenegro, I will hand over now to my colleague Tamás Kamarási. Thank you very much.
Honorable President-elect, dear ministers, dear excellencies, dear ladies and gentlemen, let me also welcome you in beautiful Montenegro. And I know I'm repeating myself. I'm doing it on purpose because standing here, I feel the necessity to reflect my honest emotions of being honored and excited to be here. And thank you for the organizations, and thank you to my fellow colleague for the sake of being correct. He was Gergely and my name is Tamás. And thank you for the opportunity also to hack a little bit 5 minutes from the Platinum Partner speech time, and maybe 1 minute more, sorry for the organizers, to represent here Montenegrin Foreign Investment Council. If there will be one single message that I would like to highlight today, is the power of the partnerships. And maybe, let's say, I'm continuing the hacking. The second most important message that I would like to highlight today is the power and reality and the small steps that we can take to contribute towards the more sustainable economy and the way of conducting business. This is important because the topic is very complex, and whilst we keep our eye on the sustainable future and the very complex and encouraging vision and mission, I believe that the strength lies within the next steps we can do tomorrow. And we here in the foreign investors, we are representing approximately 30% of the Montenegrin economy, and we are the alliance of more than 40 biggest foreign investors in Montenegro. We believe that our mission should be to catalyze economic development of Montenegro by creating attractive business environment for investments and talents. And we would like to see Montenegro as the most advanced and competitive economy in the region, where investors and talents achieve their goals together. And you might notice that we put the pivotal topic of talents and human capital in the forefront of all the actions that Montenegrin foreign investors would like to promote here. And we would like to be supporting broad and inspiring initiatives for major value for Montenegrin economy and, of course, for investors. And I believe this, our vision and mission can be only achieved if we can promote good environment for talent and human capital. And I agree with the previous thoughts that it's not an isolated topic. Talking about ESG cannot be assessed and achieved without other major topics like rule of law, like the taxation system, like economic and infrastructure development. Therefore, we believe that in our strategy, which we created and updated not so long ago with the support of the world-known advisor, Boston Consulting Group, which is also a great example of partnership and delivering value for society. We believe we can put these focus topics and where MFIC can be a promoter and an active contributor for the legislative changes for Montenegro. And green transition is one of these focus topics, and there has been the question, why is it important? We have, as I mentioned, we really believe in the small steps that we can do tomorrow, and we believe in simplicity. We have a simple answer to this. This is simply the right thing to do. And how is achievable? I believe it's only achievable with strong partnership with the strong private partnerships and very strong partnerships with the government. We are not simply talking about and waiting for each others to move forward, which we believe only in the team spirit and also by leading as an example. So Montenegrin foreign investors are ready to provide framework for calculating MFIC members' carbon emissions, committing to the decarbonization roadmap, creating sustainability principles and adopting internationally acknowledged ESG frameworks and standards, and of course launching our ESG reporting on the MFIC members' decarbonization efforts. And last but not least, we will continue to provide recommendations for the government on green transition related investment initiatives. We understand that this topic is very complex and not easy, and we understand the challenges ahead of us, and these challenges are probably similar for almost all countries in the region. Challenges regarding the taxonomies, the timely and appropriate implementation of the policies, the financial support, and of course the expertise. But this summit is also a great example of creating new opportunities, and I believe it is more important to talk about opportunities because all of these challenges are creating opportunities for the region. Montenegro can be an expert hub in ESG topics, and there is a huge waste potential for improving efficiency for doing business for foreign investors, introduce new climate smart products and services for Montenegro. So I conclude and stop here. I'm very encouraged and happy to be here today and understand and feel the positive energy in the room. And I'm sure that together we will do fantastic things for Montenegro, and together we will do fantastic things for the region. Thank you very much.